What are we up to this week?
We are doing something that the listeners have asked for.
Fantastic.
We are answering your questions.
We are going to answer your questions. Before we get on to that, let's draw a card. Oh, this is a little bit different today.
But what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to show you.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to shuffle till I feel I don't need to shuffle anymore. Asking about the energy for the highest good of all and the collective energy. What is it we need to be aware of? What's going on? What might the message be? And then choose, my
pick
friend.
a card. Pick a card, any card.
Pick a card, any card.
I'm picking this one.
What'd you get?
6 of Cups.
Six of Cups. For those listening, we are using the Rider-Waite deck.
We've gone back traditional.
We have 6 of Cups. What can you tell me about what you're drawn to there?
I'm actually drawn to this cup right in the centre.
Okay.
So when you look at the card, there's two figures on the card, and one of them is passing a cup to a child, I assume. But I'm just drawing because of the size of the cup. To me, that's quite large. I know it's the same size of every other cup on the card, but that one's standing out for me.
Okay.
So I do think there is something going to be given to us, or there's opportunities coming. But because of the 6 of Cups and what it traditionally means, it may be an opportunity that we passed up previously, and it's come back around.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, it could be. I love that cup is like they're all full of blooms, right? But like you say, it seems to be front and centre.
It does. It really does.
And I feel like there's growth that's coming, or like you said, maybe we once passed up, or maybe our listeners have passed up on something. But there's an opportunity. It speaks to like coming around again that you can take or not take, or grow from or not grow from, kind of thing, right? It definitely has that past feeling.
It's got a past, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, maybe, or there could be. What I'm finding is, and this card's quite good. There's a lot of childhood memories coming up for me at the moment, which I'm going, what the hell? Why?
What the fuck is that? Yeah. Stuff we need to look at, right?
To look at. So there obviously is lessons, or there's little gems that I need to take from those memories to bring into now.
Absolutely.
Or let go of.
Learn and grow from, right?
Learn and grow
from. Yeah, there you go. So that's like the collective energy. So bigger picture, it's about everybody nourishing and nurturing themselves as they currently are, even though like in the past they may not have known things.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like, you know, you don't know what you don't know until you know it, and then you know it and you can't unknow it, right? It's like that.
Try saying that.
Yeah, I think I can do that again. Yeah. So that's what to me that is about. Yeah, very much. Yeah,
it's quite because of all the yellow. It's quite a joyful card too, isn't it?
It is quite a joyful card.
There's a lot of yellow there.
It's funny because I was actually drawn to underneath the fellow the older child, appears to be an older child, who's handing the cup to the younger child. Underneath him or around him is all these leaves. See that?
Yes, there is.
Yeah. If you can see that on here, but just in there is where I'm looking. And that to me is speaking about the undergrowth. So I do feel very much that there's this growth and learning thing that maybe we don't even know we've been through, but we're embodying this, right? I reckon that's the best way to learn.
Yes, because then we've taken the stress out of it, haven't we? We just let it bubble along and up.
Along and up. Funny she says up. Look at it here. It actually is up here.
Oh, I didn't
so it's down here and up there. Up. So yeah, which to me is like not along the spine, but at the back, again indicating the past because it's behind. Yeah. But also the back is about the support, right? Yes. So I feel like whatever you've done or taken from the past is definitely going to support you moving forward. That's to me what the deeper message for the collective group that happened to tune into us.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, subscribe, like, share, all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
And again, ask more questions.
Yes, ask more questions. Speaking of questions, let's get on
questions. Now, this was I had this question asked to me during a reading. The client asked me that because I was going blah 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 blah. You have lots of major arcana, and she said, what does arcana mean? And I went, I don't know. Because I'm in a headspace in the read. Came out and arcana, and this is quite literally, makes sense for the tarot. It means secrets and mysteries.
Secrets and mysteries. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's funny because occult, right, which is what this type of work is about, and people sort of get a bit scared of the word occult, but that just means hidden.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that it's been hidden. It's not a bad thing at all. So arcana speaks to the secrets and the mysteries of what's been hidden.
Of the it can be the physical and the spiritual side of ours.
Absolutely, it can, yeah.
You know. So so she got me thinking with that one about what does arcana
What
mean.
does arcana mean? I don't fucking know.
And then I'm like when I had to go to find it, I'm like, well, what does the word Hierophant mean? Because it's such an old word. It's not something that's in our language now, is it?
No, Hierophant.
And Hierophant actually means a person or a priest who, and get this, who interprets sacred mysteries.
There you go. There you go. Putting all that together.
Put all it
right?
together. Yeah.
And it's funny because he's like a bit of a key, right? And you'll see there's keys.
There is keys
on
down the bottom.
The card there. Yeah, there you go.
So,
that is interesting.
Or he's unlocking the mysteries.
Unlocking the mysteries, yeah. Because traditionally it has like other meanings, and like we're aware of that, but we're just speaking to what the words actually mean in this particular question.
Yeah. And so then it was also, what does temperance mean? Because again, it's not a word we use today. And if we sort of think, especially in the 20th century, last century, there was a temperance movement around alcohol. And that was all about abstaining from alcohol. But when we look at actually temperance, the word itself, it's actually you moderate yourself, or moderation, or self-restraint.
So it's a virtue.
Yes, it's
temperance
a virtue.
is a virtue, right? I always knew patience was a virtue, but apparently temperance is a virtue.
Well.
Yeah, wow. So, and it's interesting because you said, what did you say? The 20th century, there was this.
Yeah, the temperance movement, abstaining. It was a big. I don't think it was in Australia. I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was more in America. There was a lot of like a complete temperance movement,
right? Where
people were actually I think they used to wear badges to say they were temperance or abstaining or whatever. So that's when the alcohol and all the pubs and clubs went underground.
Oh, I didn't know that. What an interesting thing. And here it is shown in the tarot.
In the tarot.
Now, why I've asked that about the abstaining is on this particular card, you'll see she doesn't have the cups.
Oh, she doesn't?
She doesn't have the cups, but she still represents temperance. See, we still have the up and the down and the moderation of, right?
Yeah.
How cool.
And is that what deck is that from?
That is Fantasy World deck.
Now that's interesting.
Isn't it? Still got all the emotion here, like all of the water behind it, right? But yeah, when we said none, I'm like, oh, this one matches what you've said. Yeah. That's
so
fascinating. Yeah. So
that
was a virtue.
It's a virtue. So So I'm sorry, I cannot remember that client's name, so I cannot credit her with that. But anyway, we'll move on to other people.
Okay.
Now, Danny has asked, how do you read for yourself?
Whoa, Danny, great question. Okay, so I'll start and then you can say yours. When I first started reading, I found it fairly easy to read for myself because I was new to the cards, so to speak. I was reading the way that my nan had shown me and my auntie had shown me, so that was great. And then when I wanted to go a bit deeper and I started to get into the books and find out I was right in the first place, that's when it started to get confusing for me.
Yeah.
The more that I understood the cards and the more that I understood my own situation, I got this fucking tunnel vision.
You get tunnel vision.
I couldn't be objective.
Yes.
So in the beginning, yes, I could very much be objective, but later on I couldn't be. So to answer the question, Danny, as I've developed and grown as a leader, I don't read for myself. I might flip a card to get an overall view of my day, or I might flip, 2 or 3 cards maybe to get a bit of clarification, or a quantifying card they call that, and quantify that. But actually read for myself, I find it extremely difficult because of this bloody tunnel vision thing. I just can't be objective because I'm in it. When I'm in it and I'm down in it, I can't see it from above, right? And it's needing to see it from above. So my advice for anyone reading for themselves is to rise up and out of it, so
Exactly.
you're not down in it.
Yeah.
Because when you're down in it, you're in
You
it.
just
You
you can't see or hear or know clearly. Can you?
Exactly. Well, that's
Yeah.
how it is for me. So
Yeah.
how is it for you?
I
reading
find
for
it very
yourself?
difficult, and
Do
I
you?
always have.
Oh, you
I
always have.
because
Okay.
and this is going back 30, 14 years. I get my cards out, and again, 30 years ago, there wasn't the information out there that we have now. So I'm just reading the little tiny book that came with the cards, the Rider Waite. This is not making any sense. And so I didn't know within myself to just trust it, trust myself. And so that's what I've always done. I've gone, oh, that makes no sense. Shove the cards away. A couple months later, I bring them back, go through the same thing. Can't read why. So it's only probably the last couple of years that I've started, and since I've been learning and teaching and reading and all that, that again, I don't read for myself, but if I pull out a card and it's mainly only one card, I can go, okay, I've got an idea.
Right.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, yeah.
That I can sort of, okay, right, like you, it's just a general idea. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I'm too deep anyway. It's just a general idea. And then it's like, then I might go to somebody, another reader to say, help me.
Yeah. What the fuck's going on in my life, man? I need to know. So I see another question for Danny.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you get the reading to flow from card to
Yeah.
card? I love that.
Yeah.
So you can get it to personally. The easiest way to start with this is to lay your cards down, say, follow the feel, see, and know method. Feel, see, know. No. See, feel, know. Stuff.
What do you know? What do you see?
What do you see? What do you feel? What do you know? I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? That doesn't feel right. Yeah. That's what you see, what you feel, what do you know? Oh my gosh. In that order, right? And so get what you get from each card, right? And then you can go back, start with the first card, look at it again, and then use the words and then.
Yeah, and you
And
join,
then. And that helps join. And then. And what also happens is your brain starts to go, oh, I need to link. This is a story I need to link. And then you look at it and you tell it as a story.
Yeah, you'll make a story out of it.
You make a story out of it, yeah. And that's how you learn to link. And then it just becomes second nature. Well, that's how it was for me.
Exactly. I found that you, and it was very much through my learnings and my teaching. But again, it was like, yes, you would start with one card and then you go up to a 3-card spread. And you would. What do I see? What do I know? And then you go into the next one and the next one. And then you just come back and just almost like doing a circle.
Yeah.
Going back. And again, it just does become second nature. And when you've got 10, 20 cards in front of you, you are telling a story.
You are telling a story, yeah. And if you want to really test yourself, just keep the same cards there, but shuffle the order around.
Yes.
So shuffle the order around and then start again, and you'll find it's a completely different fucking story, right? So interesting, yeah. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you know? And then.
And yes, yeah, that's quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got that one. Okay. Now, Lindsay has asked when to do a reading and when not to. This is on yourself. When to pull cards and when not to. Yes.
For yourself.
She was asking for yourself, and then she's also asking when you pull it for other people. But she was it was like a 2-part question for yourself and then for others.
Okay, what a great question, Lindsay. Thank you for asking. Okay, so when do you do a reading for yourself?
For yourself.
When do you do a reading for yourself?
I have to be feeling like, and like we've just discussed, I have to feel like I'm just slightly above the situation.
Yeah.
And if I'm not in a good place, or you're not in a good place, I do not pull the card. Because I know whatever is going on up in my head is going to relate to the cards, and I'm going to get a very screwy reading and then fall into a further deep and dark place.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's a really good point. When do I, when don't I? Because energetically, with you to think about this as energy, frequency and vibration, right, as Tess said. And from that point, like if your vibe is really low, chances are that's what's going to show, right? And remember, it's all around intention. If you're confused, that's what's going to show, right? Is all the confusion. So it's all about setting intention as to when I do and when I don't.
Yeah.
So if you have set a very clear intention and you're feeling very aligned, and that also means neutral, so you're feeling neutral to the situation, absolutely go ahead and read. But if you're not, stop.
Put them away.
Put them away, because the cards are going to feed off your energy, so to speak, and you're going to feed the cards. So if you're confused, upset, whatever it is, that is going to show in the cards, right? So,
and you don't want to put that energy into the cards either, do you?
No, not really.
Yeah,
not
no.
really. Although, you know, people come and we do that and we can cleanse and stuff.
Yeah.
But however, you don't want that to be the guts of your reading,
Exactly.
right?
No.
So that's when to and when not
When
to.
not to.
And that's for yourself,
Yes.
firstly. So for others, right, it's very much about looking after your own energy. You really have to understand where you stop and someone else's energy starts.
Yep, you have your protective walls up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing can come through.
And there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into that, because my experience has been that sometimes clients have said, hey, you know, can I come and have a reading? And I'll book them in. And from the moment that they ask me that, that's like permission, right? That's how I see it as.
Yeah.
So it's like permission for me to, you know, take a moment, sit in, tune into them, and then start collating what messages I'm getting, which is great. And sometimes that energy has been presented through my life, right? Where I've thought suddenly things are going a bit haywire, or what the fuck's going on?
Exactly.
We didn't a minute ago. And yet the client's not due for another 2 days, right? And then when the clients come, I've realized that some of that was their stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So it's be discerning.
Yes.
As to when you do and don't. Make sure you're in alignment and you have set a clear intention.
Yes.
Whether you're reading for yourself or you're reading for others.
Exactly.
Right? Really, really important. And pay attention to like what's going on around you.
What's going around. And also, certainly if you feel off, double up your protection. You know, put that white light on the, whatever you do, the walls, whatever you do. So if they do come in with a off feeling, you're not going to take it on.
Yeah. Because at the guts of us, right, everything is love and we're all connected to that, right? There are days when energetically we may not feel like that. So it's very much about being discerning.
Yes.
Yeah, so when do I and when don't I? I love
that. Thanks, Lindsay.
Yes, thanks. Hope that answered your question, Lindsay. If not,
let us know.
Send us a message, let us know.
Now, Irene has asked, when buying and bringing home a new deck, how do you make this deck welcome?
Oh,
and make it yours?
Absolutely. There's a number of ways for that, right? So just like when you're inviting a new family member into your home, right, you can have a little ritual, a little ceremony, say a little prayer, whatever it is you want to do that makes them feel invited, right? So I tend to, when I get a new card, when I get new cards, as if I've only got one card, right? So get a new deck. I will open it up and sit with it and feel into it, and then I will like cleanse it, bless it, and then I say a little prayer to welcome it. So that's how I like to do it. I've actually got a tarot prayer, so that actually welcomes them into the space. That's how I like to do that, if that makes sense.
Yes, I like to I find, and when she's asking about buying, I have to feel a connection to the deck in the shop. Yeah. I have to look at, I have to like the artwork. I have to have a real connection before I even open it. Because you know, if you bring it home and you've gone, oh, I don't know, you're not going to use it. But when I bring it home, I like to look at each individual card. Nice. I have to do, and you know, go through 78 and I really look at it, take in the artwork, take in whatever feelings I get from each card as well. And again, but it's almost like a lovingly, I've got to touch each and every card, and then I lovingly shuffle them and to get to the feel. And I'm also putting my energy, my intention into the cards while I'm shuffling. Not so much when I'm looking, it's more when I'm shuffling. Yeah. It's putting that intention and my loving energy into the cards while I'm shuffling. And even I could have decks, I've got one, you know, for 30 years. It's like a meditation for me just to shuffle the cards.
You know, I would 100% agree with that feeling like a meditation, because I know as soon as I got a deck, I'm like shuffling away. And you're right, it is like that, which is a way that you can get into alignment and get clear and all of the things. And I love how you said, like lovingly putting your energy into the deck. That, because we're all love at the end of the day, right? That's exactly what we are, and that's where we come from. So we need to go back to that. eventually.
Exactly. And
But yeah, I love that you do that. You say, I put my energy lovingly in.
Because at the end of the day, whether we use these cards for ourselves or clients, they are our tool and we have to look after them. So if we look after them lovingly, they are going to look after us lovingly.
Exactly. That's that karmic thing and that mirror, right?
Yeah.
Good call. I like that. Yeah.
So I think again, and subconsciously, you're connecting to the cards. You know, you're again putting your energy in. You're connecting to the cards. They're yours, and whether you allow your clients to touch them or not, it's your choice. But again, if you do, and I think we both do, yes, our clients touch our cards, shuffle, choose. After their reading, I'm shuffling. To clear it.
To clear it. That's the thing, isn't it? Like some people don't like their cards touched at all, except for by themselves, and that's not right or wrong. That's just an observation that I've over the last how been 40.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Nearly 50 years anyway. In there, that some people have that rule or that thing, and for them, that potentially may be about protecting the energy of their cards, right? Because it's like because cards are an extension of you.
Exactly. Yes.
At the end of the day, so when you're buying them, as you said, and how do you make them welcome? It's through how would you extend yourself?
Yeah.
You know, how would you like to be perceived? Because remember, every single thing is a mirror. So if you're getting cranky ass clients, then you better stop and look at the fuck yourself because you're attracting this, right? There's something somewhere in you that is calling that to you. So as Trent has pointed out, you lovingly nurture the cards and put loving energy into them, then they're going to be the extension of you, which means you are then going to attract those types of clients or those types of situations, or when you're asking the cards a questions, they're going to lovingly answer you.
Yeah.
Right? But if you come at it,
with
that fucking cranky ass shit, I'm the best boss bitch and all this, that's what you're going to get. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment in that. That's just be aware that that's what you're going to get. So pay attention to what is coming to you because that's the mirror, right? And if your cards are an extension, that's the extended mirror.
Yes,
sense?
so it does because it is. It is, and even if we're reading for ourselves, we are mirroring. The cards will mirror what we need to know that we are oblivious to.
Exactly. It'll show us. I'll bring that shit up. Hey, here's some subconscious work for you to do, motherfucker. So it's a bit like that, you could say. So and that's not to say that we don't get clients that present in a different way because we 100% will.
Of course we do.
There's definitely something there for us to look at, you know, whether that's an energy piece or whether this soul is coming to you to actually teach you something. Most of them are, you know, to teach and share where they're at. And a lot of them are just seeking guidance, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's our role to lovingly extend and help them.
And help them.
Guide them, whatever they need in that moment, we'll get. That's how that works.
And
but when you buy them, you have to be attracted.
You have to be attracted
to be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And what I was going to say was, especially when you talk about the clients coming in, sometimes they just want to be listened to.
Oh, that is so true.
And you just sit back and listen. You don't take it on board, whatever they are ranting or crying or
expressing.
Listen. Sit back, listen. You've already got your protection up, so you're not going to take any shit on, but they just need to be heard. So just listen.
Lovingly, just with that open heart. It all comes back to the heart in this space, doesn't it? You know, so which is why it matters when you're looking at the deck in the shop and you're purchasing. How do I feel right now looking at that deck? Do I feel inspired? You know, there's been decks that I've chosen. This one in particular that I chose because when I was looking at the cards that were opened, I felt really drawn to the colour of them.
And that's the Fantasy World Tarot.
Sorry for our listeners. It's the Fantasy World Tarot that I'm talking about. And the colours are really bright and I think
vibrant,
they are very vibrant and I quite liked them. And then as I sat and went through the deck, there was cards in there that I just went, I just do not resonate with that at all. That is not quite what I thought it was. And it's taken a little time for me to warm up to them. I do like that. It's just taken a little bit, and some of them have different images than what I'm used to. So when that happens for me, when it's a new deck, I'll just take time, as you said earlier, just to go through one at a time, have a look, have a feel. What am I feeling about this deck, you know?
And
So,
again, and if it feels right in the shop, because you know you can, and you get it home, and then you open it up like Lou said, and some of them just don't resonate. Okay, put the deck away. Maybe revisit it in a week, in a month, because you will change along with how you perceive the deck. So if you just get it home and go, oh, I hate it, you know, shove it in the back of the cupboard.
That's the energy that deck's going to have,
exactly.
Right? So,
no, just go, okay, it's not the right time for me to be using this deck or exploring the deck. Put it aside for another time.
Yeah, because I love how the decks evolve.
Yes.
That's a whole other topic, let me tell you that. That's a whole other topic. Do we have any more questions?
I think that was it. That was. Thank you very much for Irene, Lindsay, and Danny, and our anonymous.
2 anonymous people. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, that was great. So send your questions in. Any concerns, any trivia that you may have, because we would love to be able to highlight it and talk about it. So I've enjoyed that.
I think this has been fun. Like Lou said, please send your questions, because we've been doing this for so long. Maybe we've already passed those questions and have to revisit them.
Revisit. Revisit.
Because again, we've evolved, and so you know, maybe at the start of your tarot journey, we can answer with how we worked through some questions, or we've never even thought of the questions and we have to rethink.
Exactly. Some of these I've never thought of. I've just gone, temperance means this according to the card, right? But when you think about the word, it's like, oh, actually. I didn't know that about the whole abstinence thing. That's really got me thinking. And then to see it on another card, right? To see it on a different card where there's no cups, yet her hands are held up as if she's moving one thing to the other. That, it blows my mind, which is why the symbology so matters.
Exactly. It
really does matter. So there you go.
Yeah, so thank you for watching and listening.
It's been a blast.
It has been.
And we'll catch you next week.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Bye,
See you later.